Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be learning all about the granny spike stitch that you see here. I'm going to be teaching you how to make this beautiful crochet stitch. I'm using a few different colors here in my sample, and I will show you everything you need to know step by step in my first episode of my brand new series, Stitch Dictionary. You'll be able to find all of my Stitch Dictionary episodes from here on out on my YouTube channel here, so make sure you click to subscribe below. And I'll also have all my Stitch Dictionary videos on my blog, Sewrella.com. So let's get started. Here I'm using 3 different colors of Lion Brand 24/7 cotton. I'm using taupe, ecru, and pink. And I will be using the corresponding hook size, which is a G or 6 hook. And that's the hook size that my yarn recommends. So you can do this stitch with any weight of yarn, any kind of yarn. Just make sure that you follow your yarn label recommendation on what hook size to use. So I'm going to start here with a slip knot. I'm just starting with my taupe color yarn. Go ahead and get that slip knot onto your hook. If you need help with any of these basic stitches, make sure to consult my How to Crochet playlist. So go ahead and start with a foundation chain. We're going to need a foundation chain of 4 plus 1. So I'm just going to start with a chain of 12 plus 1. So I'll have 13 chains. So here is my 12. So we can see here however many multiples of 4 you choose to do is how wide your work will be. So make sure that if you're making a scarf or a blanket or whatever, your foundation chain here and that multiple of 4 is as many as you want wide. So you need to add 3 more chains here, and that is going to count as our first double crochet. There's our 3 chains, and then in the 4th chain, we are going to work 2 more double crochets. So that's yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then we're going to work another double crochet in that exact same chain stitch, which remember is our 4th from the hook. So there we have our first granny cluster, which is our chain 3 and then 2 double crochets. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to skip 2 stitches and work in the 3rd stitch. So there's 1, 2, and 3. We're going to work 3 double crochets into the 4th chain from our stitches. So we're actually skipping 3 and work in that 4th chain. So 3 double crochets after we've skipped 3, nice and easy to remember, skip 3, 3 double crochets, and we're just going to repeat this all the way across. So go ahead and keep stitching here, 3 double crochets make up each granny cluster, chain 1. We can see how this is looking so far. After we've chained 1, we're going to skip 3 more, 3 double crochets, and just continue. Here we are with the first row done. And our last granny cluster should be in that last chain stitch next to our slip knot. So now we need to change colors of yarn. I'm going to be changing to my ecru, or this kind of creamy color. And I'm using my Magic Crochet Color Change method from my blog, which is just pulling up the loop you're working on, tying on your new color of yarn, sliding it around to the right, and then tightening back that loop on your hook. I'll have a link in the description to my Magic Crochet Color Change method, but you can use any color change you like. So go ahead and chain up 3, and then we're going to turn our work. We can go ahead and snip this taupe yarn because we're done working with it for now. So we've chained up 3, we're going to turn our work. And you can just work with one color and do this stitch if you like. It does create a great texture, but I like using a different color for each row because it just really shows some great definition. So we have our chain 3, we've turned our work, and now we're going to work back across, and this is going to be row A of the granny spike stitch. So here we need to skip over this first cluster, so we're going to chain 1 to skip over that cluster, and we're going to work in this chain 1 space. So go ahead and make a double crochet in that chain 1 space, not into the actual stitch, but in the space itself. And then we're going to make a double crochet spike stitch. So what that is we're going to make a regular double crochet. We're just going to work into that chain from below, the foundation chain. And we're going to find that middle chain that's right in the center of our gap here. We're going to work into that chain. So create a double crochet just as you would, but kind of loosen your tension some. Make sure you have plenty of room to play with your yarn. And complete your double crochet. So that is the double crochet spike stitch. It should look a little longer, and then we're going to make another double crochet into our chain 1 space. So here we're not working into the foundation chain itself, we are working into the chain 1 space to finish up that cluster, and this is what it should be looking like. Now we're going to chain 1 and we're going to repeat that in each of these chain 1 spaces. So I'll show you that one more time. Double crochet into the next chain 1 space, and then double crochet spike stitch down into the foundation chain. Just find the center chain from in that gap. Finish out your double crochet, again loosening your tension a bit here on the spike stitch, and then a regular double crochet into the chain 1 space. And we're going to chain 1 and then work into the next gap. You can see what this is looking like. We've worked that last cluster in our last chain 1 space. We can see how this row is shaping up. And then we want to, after we've chained 1, after that last cluster, we just want to double crochet into that chain 3 turning chain from the first row. So just work right into that turning chain and make a regular double crochet. And that will just keep our edges nice and straight for this granny spike stitch. I'm going to go ahead and change my color again because I'm changing my color on each row, remember. Again, using that magic crochet color change, and I'm using some light pink yarn here. Now, the cream color row that we've just completed is what I'm calling row A for the granny spike stitch. Now we're going to create row B here with our pink yarn, and then we're just going to repeat row A, row B, row A, row B, alternating for as many rows as you like. Again, you can make as large a project as you want using this stitch. Just repeat A, B, A, B, and so on. So we've chained up 3 once again and turned. Now we're going to work into this chain space, but our chain 3 is counting as a double crochet. So we need to make our double crochet spike stitch, and we're going to work down into that center double crochet from the taupe row below. So if we identify that taupe cluster, that is our center double crochet there, and we're going to work our double crochet spike stitch down into that stitch. So we're skipping over the cream or ecru row entirely, making our spike stitch into the taupe, and then we're going to complete this cluster by making a double crochet into this cream chain space. So chain 1, there is our first cluster done, and then we're going to work into the next chain 1 space. So skipping over a regular double crochet into this chain 1 space, a double crochet spike stitch down into the center double crochet from the cluster below, and then a regular double crochet into the chain 1 space. And we're just going to repeat that all the way across once again. So I'll catch back up with you at the end of this row. This is how it should be looking. And again, this is row B of our 2-row repeat. So go ahead and continue until the last chain space. Now we've made our last cluster in that chain space, and we've changed colors once again to taupe. And I've just chained up 3. So we can see how this row B or pink row is looking. Our last cluster is going into that chain 4, remember from the beginning of row A. And then we've changed color into the taupe, and we are chaining 3 and turning. So now we're going to repeat row A, or that cream row that we did before. So we need to chain an extra one to skip over that first cluster. Now we're going to work in our chain 1 space, double crochet, and then we will double crochet spike stitch into that center double crochet from below, and double crochet into the chain 1 space. And you're going to repeat this across. And from here on out, like I said, you're just repeating row A, row B, row A, row B, and so on and so forth until you have the length that you desire. So we're chaining 1, skipping over that cluster, and working in the next chain 1 space. After you do a few rows of this, it will become kind of second nature, and you won't really need to think about whether you're on row A or row B. You'll be able to look at your work and decide what to do at the beginning of the row, and then after you work your first cluster, it all kind of falls into place. So here's how it should be looking. You'll get the hang of this as you go along, and here is my finished sample. So I've just worked a couple of repeats here, not very many, but it became a lot easier as I kept going. So I've done 7 rows here. You could just keep going with this multiple and make a nice thin kind of lacy scarf stitch. It has great coverage. It doesn't leave a lot of gaps like a lot of crochet work does. So that's a great benefit to the granny spike stitch. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to check back here on my channel for more Stitch Dictionary videos.